Hey everyone, this is Gale from PaulGaleNetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is February 26th, 2021, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, somebody by the name of Carnage asked to the Panzer Dragoon Remake Twitter page, when is the remake of Panzer Dragoon Zwei happening? And then Saga and Panzer Dragoon Remake had the following to say: we're planning to release Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei Remake this year with a happy face emoji. I think that's really cool. This is Panzer Dragoon Remake. It came out March 26th, 2020 on Nintendo Switch, and you can see the variety of platforms it's available for. It's on pretty much everything: Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and it was a nice remake. Zwei, having that confirmed that it's on the way, is really cool. Probably we will see it in some type of Nintendo Direct Mini or some other presentation. Maybe not a Nintendo one, but some presentation later this year, or maybe it'll just be dropped in an official trailer. But that's cool. Good news. I hope they continue. Give us more from the Panzer Dragoon titles. Bring out Orta eventually. But yeah, that's a nice way to kick off the day. And next up, PlayStation news. Sony announced that, in an interesting way, a little bit later than expected, but they will have an expanded SSD storage solution for the PlayStation 5. Right now it's on the limited side. You're looking at a 800 plus gigabyte SSD storage, but after day one updates and after the automatic components that are there for the systems, CPU, GPU, etc., even without any updates, you're looking at in the 600 something territory of usable space. You add a couple of Call of Duty games that take up a lot, you add some other games with DLC continuously growing and growing, and it doesn't leave a whole lot of room. Players, if you have a PS4 external hard drive, or just an external hard drive that you didn't have for the PS4, but some kind of extra solution, you could use that for your PS4 games and even play off it. But if you want to play and own a lot of PS5 games simultaneously, you kind of can't. You have to play a refrigerator almost. Take it off, put it on. Well, it looks like they will be updating the storage upgrade solution this summer. Known date, but at least it's coming, so give it several months. I would expect that no later than the middle of August to have something, which is putting it pretty close to a year, if it is indeed August. That was just a guess, but that's 8 months later, and hopefully it doesn't go too far past that, because especially as the system gets more games, Resident Evil's coming out soon, Ratchet and Clank's coming out soon, there are more titles that people are going to want to get. Now you can always say, well, are you really playing, if you were a day one owner, Spider-Man Miles Morales this June, that you need to have it still on your system? You can still have the save file. Now it's time to enjoy Ratchet. But that's not the way a lot of people work, and that's not the way they should work. It's more convenient to just play whatever you want when you want it, right? So anyways, nice to see Sony addressing that situation, I should say. Next up, this was nice. We had our Pokemon Presents video today, and give you a bigger view right here. This is the highlight of the show, the Pokemon Legends Arceus or Arceus, and I was just very pleased, very impressed, not expecting it, very happy that we got it. Of course, this is how they finished the show, but before it, they gave us our Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl remakes coming to Nintendo Switch. This Arceus game is supposed to be early 2022. My guess is like a May title. The Diamond and Pearl remakes are coming out late this year. If I had a guess to be safe, it's somewhere between, mid-November to early December. And of course, we got a new look at a new Pokemon Snap, which is still scheduled for this April 30th. I kind of went backwards in that lineup of how they revealed it, but still very exciting. All three announcements were cool. And of course, the very first announcement was, well, not an announcement, but the very first thing they showed was this tribute video, this beautiful montage that lasted for a few minutes of all of these Pokemon experiences that the Pokemon company, that Nintendo has brought to us for the last 25 years. Original games, connecting with link cables with other people, going to different new successors to Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, Nintendo Switch, you know, the merchandise, the clothes, the concerts, the CGI / live action movie, I should say, Detective Pikachu, right? The anime, the manga. It was a really nice video. I appreciated the time and the effort behind it. That to me, like, was good feels, that it really set up the event that whatever the next 17 minutes were going to be, I was already content with just the delivery of that. And I knew the event was going to have some new games, so it really was a sweet event. This in particular is a still from my live reaction video, so if you haven't seen the presentation yet and you're curious, you want to watch it with me live, you can watch this. It's already up on YouTube. And if you did watch it, whether with me or on your own, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. And for that matter, beyond just the Pokemon news today, what did you think of the PlayStation news that I talked about earlier? The SSD solution? Do you think it's coming too late, or are you just happy that it's coming? And what do you think of Panzer Dragoon? And finally, today, as typically, if I'm going to do my Famitsu talk, I'm saving it for the end. We have our Famitsu sales for week 8. This covers Japanese sales data from February 15th through February 21st. Thank you to Chris1964 and the ResetEra.com forums. Let me get to it. We had a pretty nice second week for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which did 97,955 units. That's 61% down. You know, it's technically a multiplayer game, but in large capacity, it can be played as a single player experience. It is a 3D Mario game. It is a port of a Wii U game, so it's a few different things in one. It can be both seen as a first player or a single player, as a multiplayer, sorry. Excuse me, wasn't planning on sneezing. But, you know, it can be enjoyed as a single player, multiplayer experience. It's both a port and something new, thanks to Bowser's Fury. And overall, you look at this kind of drop, not bad. Momotaro Dentetsu at number 2. 41,000 strong. Ring Fit Adventure at number 3 with 23,000. Animal Crossing at number 4. It's coming up 11 months old. 13,000. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at number 5 with 13,000 as well. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 6 with 9,300. Splatoon 2 at number 7. You saw this have a bump. Everything else had a, small to regular sized drop from the previous week, except for Splatoon 2 with 8,521 copies sold, which is a 12% increase over the previous week. That could be attributed to the Nintendo Direct and showing Splatoon 3. You would think some people might say, well, why buy Splatoon 2 when 3 is coming out? But some might say, oh, 3 is coming out? That looks exciting. I want to see what this series is about. I want to jump in now. I still have a year wait. Let me see what the hype is. Let me see what this game is. Let me get my skills kind of up to a certain level so that when 3 comes out, the game that I'm really caring about, I don't start off so far behind. You know what I mean? So in this case, the hype of 3 helped out too. Similar fashion, the hype of Pyra and Mithra coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has actually led to sales of the physical copies of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to sell out in some places. Coming in at number 8 anyhow, Minecraft on Nintendo Switch with 8,400. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield at number 9 with 7,700. And at number 10, awesome seeing this second week in a row chart, the Nintendo Switch version of Little Nightmares 2 with 7,500. I'm pretty proud of that because, a 69% drop, not horrible, but now it's, close to 32,000, and it's a really solid game, so it's good to see it continue. This is the top 30 chart. There's a lot of Nintendo Switch in there. You do have a PS4 entry, which is the Little Nightmares 2 version on that platform with 4,300. And then, for the most part, this is a Nintendo Switch chart. You end up having Nier Automata at number 25, and you have one more game, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age, at number 30. So overall, the split of Nintendo Switch to PlayStation 4 is 26-4. No PlayStation 5 games in the top 30 software chart. For that matter, no Xbox Series X games either. Moving into hardware, Nintendo Switch, no surprise, number one best-selling console of the week with 74,298 consoles sold. Quite a bit up from last year's 41,000 for the same week, up 33,000. Down significantly from last week. I wouldn't say this is because of a lack of hype. This more looks to me like a lack of stock. Probably Nintendo, shipped out 80,000 or something like that for the week. It appears that Nintendo Switch is still selling out just about as many as Nintendo could pump out in Japan. My guess would be some stock is being allocated off to the side for a powerful launch of Monster Hunter Rise. Could Monster Hunter Rise do for Nintendo Switch, at least initially within the first 1 or 2 weeks, what Animal Crossing did last year? Possibly. Could it do for Nintendo Switch what Animal Crossing did all remaining, 8-9 months of the year? That is a much bigger maybe. In the world, no. I think Monster Hunter Rise will do well in the United States, in Europe, and in Australia, but I think in Japan is where it's going to have the biggest impact and ratio of games sold per Nintendo Switch owners, and possibly make the most amount of new Nintendo Switch owners, but I don't think it's going to grab millions and millions of new Nintendo Switch owners like Animal Crossing did for the rest of the world all year round. But this is the Famitsu charts. We're talking Japanese data here. I think the game could get Nintendo Switch close to a 400,000 opening week if Nintendo is properly building up its stock inventory to launch hard that week, the next week. And then we'll see in the coming months. Is Nintendo Switch close to where Animal Crossing was last year, the equivalent time? How do we go into the holidays? I think 2021 is looking strong for Nintendo here. Number two, it's the second healthy week in a row for PS5 with 25,000. It beats last week's 22,000. PS4 at 2,900. 3DS at 827, actually up a little bit. And Xbox Series up by almost 100 with 230 units sold in total. This is overall not a bad week. We're seeing some consistency with PlayStation 5. We saw a drop with Nintendo Switch. If you look closer at the PS5 split between regular and digital versions, it's just absolutely night and day difference. You could see Sony's shipping out more of these, and it appears that fans want it more as well, but hard to say for sure. We'd have to see and know for a fact that Sony would ship out 25,000 PS5s, 25,000 PS5 digitals. Is there any stock remaining of either on store shelves, or are fans just buying up both, right? And if you look at X and S, not as big of a divide, 133, 97 respectively. If you look at Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Lite, and Nintendo Switch is beyond doubling a Nintendo Switch Lite, at least for this week, with 51,000 compared to 22,000. So overall, pretty healthy chart. Nothing mind-blowing. On the software side, it was kind of crazier seeing that 26-4 split. Hardware side, we'll see if Sony can continue this going forward, and we'll see what Nintendo does next week and in the coming weeks. That's going to do it today for Video Game News with Gale Network. It was a little bit shorter, but still right about that 15-minute mark, which is what I usually like to hit. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought. I appreciate you all in the comments. Talk to me sales, talk to me anything. All right, have a good one. See you next time. Bye.